Kennedy here. Welcome to episode 6 of the reSELLer files. I have SheSellsBySue here with me, and we're going to be talking about some travel RA, which I'm kind of getting a bug to go try it.
It's a lot of work, but a lot of fun.
Yeah, I hit some stores over on the shore recently, and I'm like, gosh, my husband and I, we keep talking about wanting to get away, and with the business growing, a getaway to us is we're thinking like a week or something, and I'm not quite ready to put my business on pause that long yet. It was hard enough for me to put it on pause over the summer. So I thought maybe, he and I could do, like just a 2 or 3 day trip out to the shore and, get away from the kids and yet,
Sure. What area are you talking about?
I'm talking about, like, I was looking at St. Augustine.
Okay.
I'm down in Orlando for those listening. St. Augustine and like Cocoa Beach, Daytona Beach.
I love Daytona Beach and is it Orange Beach that's close to there?
Which ones did I look up?
Port Orange, maybe?
Port Orange, yeah. I looked up, when I do go out to the shore, I go out to like Merritt Island, Titusville, Cocoa. But I did look up what was in Port Orange, Daytona, Ormond Beach.
All my secrets.
Good. Palm Coast, St. Augustine, Point Vedra?
Yeah.
And Amelia Island. And those are actually, Point Vedra and Amelia Island are places that John and I have talked about going to visit.
Oh, okay.
We've lived here for 4 years, and we've talked about going to visit there, but we've never quite made it. So I thought maybe kind of fun to kind of have a little getaway from the kids, but yet wrap in some RA. Because I can't go 3 days straight without doing RA. I just can't. It's like, I'll go through a withdrawal.
We stayed in Point Vedra. I'm not sure how you say it either, but we stayed there. But all those places I've shopped except Amelia Island. I didn't shop there.
Yeah, I don't think there's very much on Amelia Island. That's why you haven't been there yet.
All those places I've done well. So.
Nature Girl is in the chat. My friend Tina. Hey. Yes, her and I just recently connected. So
nice.
she's brand new. Tina, if you don't mind me telling your story, she's brand new on Amazon. So her and I have been, chit-chatting back and forth. And so, yeah. Oh, and Land Shark Picker's in here too. Hey, Craig. So Amelia Island might not be big, but right. I'm sure there's some nuggets out there we can find. I'm sure there's some
nuggets. The thing that's nice about that whoops.
Where'd you go?
I don't know. What happened? Can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
Start cam. Okay, that's weird. It just I have no idea what happened. I see it like my camera went off, but it's not letting me click it back on. I didn't touch it.
Is it plugged in? Did it maybe fall out, the plug fall
out?
No,
I mean it's in my laptop.
Oh.
No, this never happened before.
Hello, Matthew Jones. Thanks for joining in.
I wonder if I need to, let's see, it says having issues.
He says he can hear you.
How can we help you? Okay, I guess it's bad hair day. I'm guessing I might just have to go out and come back in.
That's fine. Go ahead.
I don't know what else to do because it won't let me turn my camera back on. Be right back. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Take your time. So I hope everybody in the chat's doing well tonight. Has anybody sourced anything fun lately? Any treasures out there to be found? You don't have to tell your secrets. Just let me know if you found something good. Uh-oh, now it says her device is not connected. Oh, this is interesting. So yeah, I went out to the, let's see. Hi, Grandma Wrinkles. It's been a while. Matthew Jones doing fine. You found 24-cent duct tape at Walmart. Sweet. Sue's going to try to reboot. So yeah, I went out. I've gone out. I'm in Orlando, Central Florida, or not Central Florida, but Central East Florida. It's like in like 45 minutes from the shoreline. So I've been going out there. I've gone out there like maybe 2 or 3 times so far to go sourcing and hit, you know, some of the Walmarts out there for some of their hidden clearance and some of the Dollar Trees and what else have I found out there? Can't remember off the top of my head. Oh, Tuesday mornings, I found those. So what I've been doing is been going to Merritt Island and Cocoa are real close to each other. So I've been going out there and then going up to Titusville and then coming back home. So they've been kind of like day trips. So I wanted to pick Sue's brain about overnight trips because John and I want to, you know, get away for a couple of days, but I want to wrap some RA in there. So I just thought it'd be fun for him and I just to go up and down the coastline. So I did make a list. I have like a 3-page list of different addresses and stores that I want to hit. Has anybody in the chat ever done any travel RA before? Or travel trips of any kind like that? So I think it's definitely going to be something fun. Or how about long day trips? Oh, let's see, Matthew Jones, ever hear of Lake Mary or Longwood? Yes. Actually, I used to work for Nemours Children's Hospital, and I used to float out to the clinic out in Lake Mary from time to time. So yes. So you know where all the good restaurants are. Okay. Hi, Eric. How you doing? Welcome in. We lost Sue for a minute, so she's rebooting her computer so she can come back on. So I wanted to get some of Sue's advice on, you know, how to prepare, what kind of equipment to take out, supplies, kind of how she plans in general. Because I think that's probably where the most success is, you know, in your planning. Nope, I don't see you, Sue. See, Matthew said, I grew up in Lake Mary, went to Lake Mary High School for 20 years plus long ago. Hi, drummer. How you doing? So what items do I enjoy sourcing? My biggest driver right now is clothing. I've really enjoyed doing a lot of clothing. I get really good ROI on clothing. Before I got into clothing, I did a lot of party goods and office supplies. Just sitting here getting a shipment ready to go out. Welcome to Q4. Yay, Q4. I'm excited. It's going to be my first Q4 on Amazon this year. I had my first Q4 on eBay last year. So, and I've been working on getting a shipment together all day today. So that'll go out tomorrow. Hey, Swamp Picker, I didn't see you pop in. Sorry about that. We're still waiting for Sue, for you guys that are in the chat that are just in. We lost her. She was here, and then we lost her video, and then she's going to be rebooting. So hopefully she'll be back on soon because I can't tell you all about the TravelR. That's why I have Sue here so she can tell us. Eric, you said same here. You mean it's your first Q4 for Amazon? Oh, gotcha. So she said she's just getting the internet back up. Okay. Yeah, she said her PC takes forever. Mine takes forever. Forever. And actually, part of my growth plan for my business is I moved my eBay inventory. We have a garage apartment. So I'm now renting that from the household. So I moved my eBay inventory in there and my back stock of Amazon stock. So now I just need to get a new desk and a new computer for that area. Wait a minute, we might have Sue back in. Sue?
It's the same issue. Can you hear me?
We can, but you know what? If you don't mind, we could just do it this way.
Okay. I don't know if I can do it from my phone. I don't know what's wrong. This has never happened to me before.
I don't know. It's never happened to me either.
30 minutes unplug. I'm trying to like Google. What do you do if you're?
What do you do? Oh my God! Oh my God! No!
We'll pretend it's a podcast then.
Yes, we'll just pretend.
I'm sorry.
I'm good with that.
I even went when I heard you saying you wanted to see what my supplies were and everything. I even went and grabbed my bag so I could show you. But I don't know what the deal is.
Are y'all in the chat okay if we just listen to Sue?
Share screen. Yeah. Okay. Let's just talk and while
Matthew says he thinks it's funny.
We'll just talk and then I should try and get at least a little avatar up there.
Yes. And Eric says, sure. I don't know. This is the way you like when you talk, you like you
sound
on the screen. Boink, a boink, a boink.
I said I was talking too loud. Maybe I blew up the camera.
Maybe. And Eric said it is his first Q4 on Amazon. So congratulations to you. That's awesome. It's I was talking in the chat, so I don't know if you know this is going to be my first Q4 on Amazon as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're in for a ride.
Yes.
It's so much fun.
See, Eric, we were talking about things that I'd like to source while you were away. And I was telling him that lately I've been really enjoying sourcing clothing, which I wanted to kind of pick your brain about a little bit if we don't run out of time. So I've been doing really good with the clothing. And Eric was saying, hear people crushing clothing, but seems like a lot of prep work. For Amazon, I don't think it's very, I mean, yeah, it is, some prep work, but honestly, all I'm doing is lint rolling the cat hair off of the shirt and folding it and putting it in a poly bag. I do a heck of a lot more prep work on eBay to list a piece of clothing.
Oh, true. Very true.
So it's like, if I can, find something for $5 and, flip it for 30 and, make 15 meanwhile, why not?
Yeah, I would say I don't really think there's that much prep work.
No, it takes, I mean, if, let's say I have like, a packet of stickers, that I'm selling on Amazon and I've got 20 packets of stickers. Yeah. It's going to take me less time to label 20 packets of stickers than it's going to take me to, prep, 20 shirts, for example, or pairs of pants or whatever. But the ROI, I mean, the ROI itself, I've noticed the percentage wise is bigger. Plus, just I don't know, the returns are just pretty amazing.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say the only, I think people have to not be too squeamish about getting returns because people get returns. So my stats are, I have less than 1% return rate on what I sell, but my clothing and shoes is right at 10%. But I'd say 8 times out of 10, it goes right back into stock.
Yeah.
So, it's not like it's returned and then not.
Yeah, that's one reason why I asked this morning what the typical return rate on clothes was, and you thought it was like maybe around 20.
I think
I've not
that's what
seen
I've
that much.
heard. Mhm.
I've not seen that much. And I don't know how to check my return rate on Amazon. I probably need to learn how to do that. Um,
Well, I
but
actually
I
do it
think it
in
might,
Inventory Labs, but I'm sure you can do it
yeah,
through.
I mean, off the top of my head, it might be 5%, 10%. But like
Mhm.
you said, most of the time they just put it back in inventory.
Mhm.
And it's just worth it. It's just worth it.
I'm playing around. It looked like it switched cameras on me, like under the settings, but
Mm.
I put it back to my laptop. I even tried doing low definition. This is weird. It says Cyberlink webcam splitter. That's what popped up, which that makes me wonder if somebody's I don't know, messing with my
Ooh,
computer. I
is
don't
somebody
know.
hacking your computer?
Maybe. All right, anyway. So, um
So tell us kind of because like like I was saying before, I'm kind of like in the planning stage for an RA
mhm.
trip. So what are some of the things that you think about and you do as you're going through your planning process? And what are some of the things that maybe you can tell me to decrease my learning curve a little bit?
So when I actually decided to do travel RA, it was basically I was buying up stuff in Atlanta, and say at a certain store, I had already bought everything
Mm-hmm.
in stock of what I had been selling in the Atlanta area. So I
Mm-hmm.
just got on and said, I got on the, web, and I looked up I got on Google Maps and looked up where the next closest bunch of that store was, and it
Mm-hmm.
happened to be Charlotte.
Okay.
So
So that's
I
sort of one reason why like I've gone out to the shores, sort of like,
right,
stuff in Orlando I've bought up.
exactly.
It's
But
gone. Sorry guys.
I think the big thing is people have this conception that I just like get in the car and drive somewhere and start
Mhm.
looking.
Mhm.
But I really try to find, um, I might do some online orders for store pickup, or I might use Brickseek or those kinds of things to check out the stores before I go out there.
Okay.
There's always at least a list of some items I know I can get,
Okay.
because I'm not just gonna go blindly. Because I'm usually going to now there's places like Birmingham I can go for the day and come back in the same day. It's
Mhm.
a long day, and I do better when I can stay overnight and shop a lot more while I'm there. But since I'm gonna spend, okay, now my Norton just popped up. This is just being really weird tonight. So when so I wanna be able to go somewhere
Real
and
quick, guys, if we are suddenly just not here,
I know.
we're sorry. We didn't mean for it to happen. We're not trying to be rude. We're not trying to shut anybody down.
I have no idea what's going on with my computer tonight. And I have a house, well, none of the kids live here anymore, but all my guys are IT guys, so I'm gonna have to get them to figure out what happened. But anyway, yeah, so I wanna have a plan of at least, a certain number of items I know I can go get, because I need to pay for the hotel and the gas, and I don't eat much when I'm on the road. I know you say I know all the good restaurants, but a
I
lot of
know,
times
just because, yeah, like one time when you had like Jared on, you're like, oh yeah, and that place with those really good salads,
oh
and
my
it's
gosh.
like
Yeah, when I
somebody
go
name,
to
somebody
Charlotte.
names the town, and you're like, they have a great German restaurant.
I do know I know the good places, but more often than not, it's not when I'm doing RA that I'm eating there. But Chopped, I mean, I will shop till I drop. I mean, I literally like I
Yeah,
can
that's the way I
outshop
do
my
too.
son who's only 35. And I cut my night short the last time I was in Charlotte, my last night, so that I could get a chopped salad because they close, I think, at 9 o'clock. So that is a good place. But, yeah, so I wanna make sure before I go somewhere that I at least know that I have this much product that I can pick up.
Now,
And then from
when
there,
you go
I'll
out
just
talking about the product that you're picking up, do you also um, do you have like I have like an ongoing list of replenishables that I can get at different stores. Do you have one of those as well?
I'm a little bit embarrassed to say that I've been wanting to do replenishables forever, and I
Mhm,
really like this year my goal totally was to start doing replenishables.
mhm.
But I get wrapped up in whatever I'm finding right now.
Well, I mean, it could even be like, something that you find at Tuesday morning that they carry, it does well. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I
and so,
definitely
so you're in, let's say you're in, I don't know your name of town,
yeah,
Jacksonville.
right.
And you're like, there's 4 Tuesday mornings. Let me go hit them all. And I know that these are the 5 things that Tuesday morning it sells, and I'm going to pick those 5 things up. Do you have like something like that?
For
Maybe not
sure.
even a written down list, but even in your head?
I have both of those actually. So the things, the 17 things that I'm picking up at Walmart right now are
Mhm.
in my notes on my phone.
Okay.
And so I'm going with the knowledge that I have, you know, these 3 or 4 or $500 worth of items that I know are there and can go pick up. And then I start my route. Like I tend to be like shopping a whole lot. Like a couple months back, I was doing a lot at Kohl's. So I would want to do like every Kohl's in Charlotte.
Mhm.
I'm not right now. I kind of go through waves of different stores. So the stores that I'm really shopping in right now in Atlanta,
Mhm.
I will, put those sort of as prime. Like first my pickup stores, then my prime stores, then my like a Tuesday morning. I've been shopping there for 3 or 4 years. I don't get a whole lot there, but because I've shopped there for 3 or 4 years, I can run in 10 minutes and just grab whatever. Like especially old items that I was buying last year when I go to
Mhm.
some city far away, like for sure there's none left in Atlanta. Because if you shop Tuesday morning, there's they only get six in this
I
one or one
know,
of
I
this
know. There's
store.
one item that I pick up when I go to the Tuesday morning, and now it's gotten so bad. Like I, I bought it all in Orlando. It's
Exactly.
honestly, it doesn't exist in Orlando,
But if you
which
drive
is
up the
why I have to
coast,
take a road trip.
yeah, so if you drive up the coast, you can run in and just grab it.
I
So,
couldn't believe how many Tuesday mornings are up and down the coast when I was in Google Maps.
yeah, and the
Oh
thing
my
about
gosh.
the thing I like about like Daytona Beach and Orange, I think it's Orange,
Port Orange.
Port Orange, that's it. I versus Orlando, because my
Uh-huh.
brother and sister-in-law live on the north side, like the suburbs of Orlando.
Uh-huh.
And in Orlando, like from one store to another is really far. Like
I
it's
know.
20 minutes from here to there, but in Daytona Beach or Port Orange is like boom, 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 boom. You're going like a half a mile to the next store, to the next store, to the
Uh-huh.
next store.
Yeah, in Orlando, things are very spread out.
They
That's
are.
always it's something that I've always heard people say before we moved here, and it's something that I live every day.
Right. So it's a lot. So I don't get the number of stores in Orlando that I do, maybe up and down the coast. But
Okay.
so it's all you start to learn areas as well, because I go to Charlotte pretty regularly. I just have my patterns there. Pretty much stay in the same hotel every time, and it's kind of central to, I do one day like southeast and the next day north. No, I do southwest and then northeast.
Mhm.
There's not much in the southeast corner that I go to. So once I've been to a city over and over, I kind of have my plan of action and
That's one thing actually I'm looking forward to about doing a little travel RA is just kinda learning a new area. I've
Mhm.
kinda gotten bored with what's around here now,
Right. So
you
it's
know?
fun, but I mean, it's not a vacation because I drive a RAV4. So I will drive to Charlotte, but there's stops I make along the way. So usually my car is totally full by the time I check into the hotel. So
Mhm.
I literally stay up till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning and process everything and ship it out the next morning so that I can fill my car
And
again.
when you're as close as Charlotte?
Oh yeah, because otherwise I can't fill my car anymore. But I did last year. We bought a camper top for my husband's
Mhm.
F-150. And the only thing is you have to fill it all from the back. So it's, like a van, you can fill in, you can open this door, open that door, but and I got all these bruises on my shins because I was always climbing in
Oh.
and out of the back of the.
Those
That
bruises
tailgate.
hurt. Oh,
But this year, actually, probably in the next week or two, I'm going to rent a huge van and do a couple trips that way.
okay. That's a
So
good
I'm
idea, actually,
really
renting,
excited about that.
because our van that we currently have right now is on its last leg. So
Hmm.
we're in the process of getting a new. I want to get I'm looking at the Mazda CX-7s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a huge Mazda fan. I have a Mazda 6 that I drive right now, and my oldest son has a Mazda 2, and I
Hmm.
just love Mazdas. So we were looking at SUVs, and so I was like, well, let's just stick with Mazda.
Well, I'm going to rent a 9-foot tall Ford Transit.
What's that?
I'm going to rent a 9-foot tall, the high transit van,
Uh-huh.
cargo van. The only issue is I love spending one night in Daytona Beach, and where I like to stay is a parking garage, and that thing will not go in a parking garage.
Oh,
So I'm not sure if I'm going to go stay in the same place in Daytona Beach because,
gotcha.
yeah, that's my son had that transit van, and I
Mhm,
went with him. I flew to Dallas. He lives in Dallas, and we drove down to Austin for the Green Room
mhm,
meetup.
mhm.
And we were going to stop for Chick-fil-A, and he parked, and I go, "Oh, we're not going to drive through." He goes, "Oh, you can't drive through in this van. It's too tall." So I will have to be careful with it. But I
Yeah.
can't wait to fill that thing up. Now, I did last time I went to Charlotte, I brought my employee with me.
Mhm.
And so the first day we
And what
shopped,
is her name again?
Carla.
Carla.
So we shopped on the way to Charlotte. And then the second day, she stayed in the hotel room all day and processed. She did that for 2 days. And then we filled
That
the
is
thing up on the way.
so awesome because then
But
you can spend your time making more money.
yeah, I mean, that was really, really nice. I mean, it's not like I can do that all the time, but by doing this, by filling up the van and bringing it all home, or most of it, like there might be some nights when there's something really easy that I can pack and ship, a whole bunch of the same item or something. And yeah, Matthew, if you lived in downtown Charlotte, I don't know if you've ever shopped at Target, but it's all like I parked in the downstairs. All the parking is in a parking garage. And I parked in the downstairs, and then it turned out the Target was on the third floor. And I bought a whole bunch of stuff, and then the elevator was broken.
Oh my God.
So I had to go out in the street like I'm trying to find out how you get to the third floor. And yet you couldn't just go on the inside. Yeah, he says he knows it. It's crazy there. And then I had to go get boxes at Staples across the street, and it's the same way. It's up on the third floor.
Oh, jeez. Remind me not to go to Charlotte.
Parking, well, only in downtown. Parking in downtown Charlotte is crazy. And I have also gotten stuck on those. I don't know. You get on this freeway, and then GPS is telling you, "Okay, get off here," and you kind of miss it because you
Mhm.
go to get off an exit, and then there's sort of a three-way split. And I've been around the same circle at least 3 times, at least one time. So that's another thing to traveling. You when you're going to new areas and stuff,
Uh-huh.
you kind of need to find out how bad traffic is at certain times of day, or if there's construction going on, or that all plays into how much time you can spend shopping.
Gotcha.
Sometimes the worst thing is trying to get out of the shopping center parking lots because some of
Oh,
those are terrible.
that's one crazy thing when we moved to Orlando. Uh, Parking lots here are crazy.
Uh-huh.
Crazy. Like what looks like an exit is not an exit, and
Right.
what you think is an entrance takes you somewhere else. Like it's
Right. Or you pull into the shopping center thinking you're going in here, and you've just missed it, and you're at the
yeah.
bank, and you
And
can't get out
I
or
go
get
from
through.
I can be like I can be really chill for a really long time, but then I hit this frustration point, especially if I'm hangry. I hit this
Right.
frustration point, so I go from chill, and then all of a sudden, chill for a long time, give me a few hours, then frustration, and then anger,
Yeah.
like that fast.
That's Chick-fil-A milkshake time.
Hey, I went to Sonic yesterday and got one of their like blizzard type things.
Oh,
I
I've
haven't
never
had
had one of
Yeah,
those.
I haven't had one of those in years. Oh my goodness, I treated myself. It was so yummy.
Yeah, oh my gosh, a couple months ago, it was like came up on my phone. I have the Chick-fil-A app, and it was like they actually do have really good food for on the road. I
Yes.
love their grilled
Yes, they do.
chicken, and their that superfood salad is really good too.
Okay.
But, they but I popped up on my thing, it's like, "You've earned a chocolate milkshake for free," or whatever. It wasn't even with my rewards points, it was like something they were giving away or
Yeah.
whatever, and I'm like, "No! How can I say no to that?" But I really try hard on the road to not eat a lot of junk, so I do travel with a cooler, and I
Mhm.
bring stuff I kind of nibble all day in between stores, so
Okay.
I'll have, like I get those little packs of hummus with the pretzels
Mhm.
or the little guacamole or cheese and I love those
Power food.
the little sets that have, like, cheese
Mhm.
and cranberries and nuts or something,
Okay.
just and a lot of water. You need a lot of
Oh,
water.
you know what, I found at Walmart that I just get a couple bottles a week, is caffeinated water. They actually sell
Oh,
caffeinated water, and because I love my coffee and
yeah.
I need an afternoon coffee. I'm just that girl. Always been that girl, will always be that girl. And but when I'm outsourcing, I can't always, take the time to stop and get coffee.
Right.
Plus I feel dehydrated.
Yeah.
So I've been getting those bottles of water and I just get a few a week, stick them in the
Okay.
refrigerator and take them with me in the morning. And then
Mhm.
that way it gives me just enough caffeine to keep my energy level up, so that I don't feel like I
Right.
have that afternoon crash,
Right, right.
and
And
it's
that's
keeping me hydrated at the same time. And they're only like 97 cents a bottle, but they're big bottles.
oh, okay.
Yeah, things are backwards on here.
Right.
I can't find my own hands. They're really tall bottles.
And I
Uh,
don't know what it is about shopping. I don't know if it's, like, dust in the store or
I
what, but
know.
I
I'm
mean,
always so
spend a couple
thirsty and
hours in the store,
dry.
I'm dying of thirst.
Yes.
And when we talk about travel RA, and last year, when Toys R Us went out of business,
Hmm.
I went to 38 Toys R Us,
That's
and some of
crazy.
them multiple times. And I mean, I would spend sometimes 4 or 5 and 6 hours in one store.
Hmm.
I
Oh, I did that one time in a thrift shop. I was in
Oh,
my own zone, and by the time I never even stopped to use a bathroom.
uh-huh,
I was so, it was like when I first started, I was just hyper focused and I was in my element and I was just like, oh my God, it was so weird because I went to check out and I walked outside and looked at the time and I was like, oh, like to me, I thought maybe I'd been in there for 2 hours. It was
right, right.
6.
But I mean, when I had did that a few times, I would literally was dying of thirst, It
Hmm.
was just so I really have to bring water with me, so that's another important one. But I have, like, a small rolling bag that's not as tall as, like, it's almost like a craft bag,
Okay.
and I put everything in there. I bring my Dymo, I
Yeah,
bring
I need
my
that list.
3-inch tape.
Hmm.
I kinda look before I this is another thing I've been saying for 2, 3 years. I was gonna make a list, a checklist, and it's like every time I forget something. But I bring everything from my heat gun to I have, like, a little plastic bag with Gooby Gone in it
Yep.
or, that's in my side pocket. I bring poly bags. Um, I'll always bring an extra roll of Dymo. That's probably the most important thing because buying those on the road, like if you have to buy a small roll of Dymo labels at
Oh, I
OfficeMax,
bet.
it's like $30 for like 100.
Ooh, that's
So,
painful.
yeah.
It'd be
And
cheaper to send it to Amazon and have them label it.
yes, absolutely. And I have done that as well. So, um, I had an item that needed it was a really odd size toy.
Mhm.
And I just let them polybag it because I just didn't have anything with me, and I didn't even have anything at home, so those are things that you can do too. Sometimes if you need something done and
Mhm.
you're, like, trying to look online and find a bag or whatever, just sometimes it's just easier to let Amazon do it, especially if it's not an item you're gonna carry all the time, but,
Gotcha.
you found these 18 oddball sized toys, and it's like 20 cents a bag or something for them to
Uh-huh.
bag it. So that's always an option.
Swamp Picker says hello to you, so
Hey,
I don't know if you're able to see the chat from
I
here.
can see the chat.
Okay.
I can see everything, just no one can see me. I don't know why.
You're hiding.
And I can see the little light is on with my camera. I just have no idea. But anyway, it
Okay,
is
like
what
you
it is.
said, we're just gonna make believe it's a podcast.
That's right.
Just make believe. Make believe.
So
So
what
how,
else do you want to know about? What else did you want to know about?
I want to know, you had mentioned on one of your videos when you were in Orlando, you had a crazy RA story. I want to know what that story is since I
Oh
live
my
here,
God. That was insane. So,
because I have
okay,
yet to hear
so
that story.
my son flew to Orlando. So once a year, my son takes me on a sourcing trip for a
Uh-huh.
week. And so he flew, he was living in Los Angeles at the time. So he flew to Orlando and I drove there. And I got there the night before and then I picked him up at the airport. But on the way down, I had pretty much filled the car. And I had stopped in Valdosta, Georgia, which is where my sister lives, and they have a couple of really good Walmarts there. And I found a brand new toy. And it was actually the small Hatchimal packs when they first came out with the small 4 packs and
Mm-hmm.
2 packs. And so we were kind of like just going to take them home. And actually, I can't sell Hatchimals, and I still can't to this day. So we were going to send them in under my son's account and just split it. So we put him in the hotel room, didn't think much of it, and we were shopping the next day. And one of his guys in his mastermind was like, you know, I think Joey told them we had found some of these Hatchimals, and they were like, "Oh, you need to merchant fulfill those and just get rid of them right away because they're gonna tank." Like it was good right then, but they were like, "I would just sell them off as quick as you could." So
Mm-hmm.
we decide, you know what? Let's put a foo on merchant fulfilled. So we put like 12 on merchant fulfilled, and we went into this big lots and we shopped for half an hour, and the internet or the phone cell service was really bad in this store. So we come out to the car and we look, we had sold all 12 of them. We were like, oh, let's sell 12 more. And we kept doing that. The problem was then, okay, now it's Friday and Joey has a flight at 7 o'clock on Friday night. And I get up early Friday morning and I go to buy boxes because we had, I believe it was 42 orders.
Oh, wow.
And I went to one Staples, I think it was Staples, and I got the right size box, but they only had like 12 of them. So then I had to go to Walmart. I was trying to find a good size box or whatever. Come back to the hotel. Well, now Joey's flying home, so we had to get all his shipments done. And I could drive home with the rest of mine, so that wasn't an issue. But it was like we were making the labels. He was making the labels on Amazon, sending me the emailing me the labels. Then I'm going downstairs to print them in the lobby and coming back up in packaging or whatever.
See why FBA is so much easier?
I know, but we just, I don't, this is, I will never, I said I will never merchant fulfill from the road again, but I think I did it one more time, but not in that quantity. But here was where, then I was like making some trips to UPS and dropping his boxes off and coming back. And now we had like a few more of his boxes left, 42 of these, merchant fulfilled packages to ship. And he's like I don't know, honors member or whatever at the Sheraton. So we had a 4 o'clock checkout. So now it's like 3 o'clock, and we need to start bringing all this stuff from our room down to the van. And this huge Indian family was having a big wedding at the hotel, and they had 5 or 10 vans outside. They were using all the carts. So there was nothing, there was no way, like he literally carried down some, 40-pound boxes downstairs, and I'm looking for a cart, looking for a cart. So the ladies who were cleaning our room are sitting outside our room waiting because it's probably like the last room they have to clean. And my son had gotten for my birthday, he got us this big suite with some of his points or something. So of course it's at the very end of the hallway, like the furthest down, because we even had a big balcony outside and everything. Anyway, I say to the ladies, "Oh my gosh, we're trying to check out, but we don't have the carts and we have all this stuff in our room." And they were so funny. They were like, we're gonna help you. We're gonna help you. And I'm like, oh, you have no idea. Like, you have no idea how much.
You don't know what you're getting into.
So they go get these laundry baskets, like
Oh,
huge laundry baskets.
uh-huh.
And there's 3 ladies, and they're literally tossing boxes. We have this laundry basket overflowing with merchant fulfilled packages. And I'm lugging the rolling suitcases, and this one's carrying this bag, and this one I had all these Tuesday morning those shopping bags you pay 99
Yeah,
cents for or whatever,
yeah.
like one lady's got one over her arm and she's carrying this and that, and Joey comes back up from the elevator, and here comes 3 maids and me rushing down the hallway with all this merchandise and everything. And it was just the craziest thing. Then we went to the post office that was supposed to be right down the street that closed at 5. It was like 4:05 and they were closed. Now we
Oh,
look it up, and there's one by the airport. So we go to the one by the airport. Now I'm literally putting on the last 6 labels. And Joey could only carry like 10 in at a time. So he brings 10 in, and we want to get a receipt because it's Amazon. It's
oh
not,
yeah.
you know. So they scan him, and he gets the receipt, and he comes back out to the car and gets 10 more and goes back in. Well, the third trip in, maybe he had 6 or 8 at a time because we needed like 4 or 5 trips in. The lady said to him, I know what you're doing. You're trying to get around our 10 package maximum scan. He was like, what? I don't live here. I just, it's like, she's like, if you have over 10 packages a day, you just have to leave them over there. You can't.
Oh, I didn't even know about that
I was
because
like,
that's my
it's
area.
made up. It's made up. I'm sorry. So what happened is he says to me, you bring in the last batch. Well, they're all the same return address.
Right.
They're all exactly the same size box. And he goes, there's 2 nice ladies and 1 really mean one. Well, I could see in the line who the mean one was. And I was crying, like, please don't give me her. Please don't give me her. But I got her, and she took the packages. And you know what? She's kind of mad, scanning it, turning around and stacking them right on the other 35 of the same one. And she knew.
She still gets paid the same by the hour.
Is that not ridiculous? But it was, so we leave the post
That's
office.
the kind of people that give the postal workers a bad
I
name.
know. So we leave the post office, and now we literally just have to go around the corner to the airport.
Yeah.
It's one exit, and we had to get on the toll road to get in.
I know. Everything's a toll road in Orlando. Landshark and I were talking about that the other week.
Oh, so it was just like, okay, that was
I
just
know.
the craziest. I mean, I literally took a video of the ladies. I have a video from behind of these 3 maids running down the hallway with the laundry baskets and carrying all their stuff, and it was just hilarious. So there can be funny things that happen on the road, but it is, I mean, it's we had said, when I took the Dallas trip with him, we said, okay, this time we're going to shop for 3 days, finish processing everything the 4th day, and the 5th day just
take a break.
Like go sightseeing. Nope, didn't happen. On the way to the airport, we were at UPS, like packaging more things in the parking lot. And we ran out of 3-inch tape on that trip, and my son had a fit. And I was like, so I called around, and I found a moving company that had 3-inch tape. We went and picked up some 3-inch tape at the moving company. But anyway, we have a good time though. But usually I'm like, let's go to one more store, and he's like, Mom, it's 11:30 at night. Let's go home. Because that's one thing when I'm by myself and I'm a woman, I'm in a different city or whatever, I don't really like to shop past like 9 o'clock or so.
Right.
Like there's certain parts of Charlotte, like I'll go in Pineville. I know a couple stores there that I always go to, and I'll go there maybe till 10:30.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a little different. You have to think about those things when you're a woman by yourself.
Yes.
You just have to be cautious.
Daily, you have to think about that stuff, even during the daylight.
Yeah. My husband's always telling me, watch your surroundings, or I'm like, I do. I know where I am. I know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. So I have a question for you.
Okay.
What is some of your advice for newbies? Some of your general Amazon advice?
Just general. First of all, read the terms of service. That's what I tell all new people. Because then they'll ask you, like, "Do I have to polybag something?" It's all in Amazon University. You can watch all the videos. They're like 5, 6 minutes apiece. They'll tell
Mhm.
you everything you need to know. Then if you don't I will say that occasionally there are things in the terms of service that t aren't really clear in black and white, and I never mind answering any questions, and I tell people it's better to ask than, do it wrong.
Yeah, with
Like
Amazon, in general life, it's sometimes easier to do it and then ask for forgiveness later. Amazon's the opposite.
exactly.
So you better ask.
But there's a lot of information
'Cause
out
you
there.
can't
The other
ask for
thing
forgiveness later because they ain't gonna give it to you.
exactly. The other thing is you can ask for answers on Facebook, but when I post an answer on Facebook, 9 times out of 10, I take a snapshot or the link to where it is on Amazon.
Mhm.
Because people, it's just like when people ask for tax advice on Facebook, I'm like, "Really? Are you really gonna take your answers from Facebook? You don't know these people."
Do you give them Jared's email?
Yeah, you can have So I mean, I would just try to know all the rules, as you're starting. And then, I mean, just me personally, I had a full-time job for my first 6 months. And so I started slow, And and the other thing I always tell new people, like, learn one store really well
Mm.
or learn one category really well. Try not to just sell everything from the beginning because then you never get to be an expert in one area. So,
That's
like I
a good
said,
one.
I have been shopping in Tuesday mornings for 3 or 4 years. I can run in any Tuesday morning in any city in the country, and if I see a toy that's over this dollar amount and it's this brand, I don't even have to scan it. I know it won't make money because
Mhm.
I just know their
You've done
product
it
so
time and
well.
time and again.
Yeah, so it's easy for me, like, even when I had gone up to Virginia and no Tuesday mornings were on my plan because I really had stores that I was really shopping at,
Mhm.
but I passed by when it's like,
I know it's so hard not to, right?
I literally made like $400 in 7 minutes because I just ran in. I knew I didn't have to scan one thing. And like I said, because I hadn't shopped in those stores before, ever, I knew, hey, this is old. Grab that, grab this. Can't find this anymore. Grab these, grab that. Done. So if I didn't know one store really well like that, I couldn't I mean, I'd have to take a lot of time in every single store. So I would say, the other thing too is
That's great advice. I haven't thought about that.
on the store that you pick, find out when their sales run, find out how to read their tag. I mean,
Mhm.
a lot of
Like, if
stores,
it ends in a 99, what does that mean?
right, or Tuesday morning has the date when the product came about. I mean, when they got the product at the store.
Mhm.
And usually, after 6 months, it's gonna go on sale, and then, a few more months, it's gonna go on sale more. Or "Oh, this was from last year. I'm not gonna find any of these probably anyplace else." Just I mean, just those kind of things. And just, chat it up with,
How do you learn those kinds of things, though? Like,
just
I with Tuesday morning, I've only been shopping Tuesday morning for a couple months now, but I never even thought to look on the label for a date.
yep.
Like, how did
So
how did you learn that?
that one I don't remember in particular, but
Or
I
how
mean
would you go about learning those nuances?
I mean, I always chat it up with employees.
Mhm.
And it's like, "Oh, these are on sale right now. When's your
And for
next
those
sale?"
listening, Tuesday morning is very reseller friendly. So they'll
Mhm.
accept your tax exempt
Yeah,
and I mean, if you tell them, you don't have to tell them you're reselling, but like I took a bunch of things to the counter the other day and the lady's like, "Oh, you must be having a big party." I'm like, "No, I sell on Amazon." She's like, "Oh,
right.
good for you."
Yeah. Yeah, I pretty much use my, sales tax exempt or whatever at pretty much every store I shop.
Mhm.
Not Target, but other than that, pretty much any store. But, you chat it up with the employees like, "Oh, wow, I really like these. Are they gonna be going on sale anytime soon?" And
Okay.
and, they might just say, "We never know," but then they might give you a tip like, "Oh, I'm not really sure," or do you say, "Are you getting more of these in?" we don't really know what's coming on the truck, but the
Mhm.
truck always comes on Tuesday. Okay, well then a good day might be to come, maybe not first thing in the morning Tuesday because they're unloading the truck or something, but just chatting it up and being friendly, you learn a lot.
Yeah, even when I was at one the other day, I noticed there's a particular designer that I like,
Mhm.
and I noticed that their stock was just like dwindling. And
Mhm.
I even said to the lady checking me out, I'm like, "Are you gonna stop carrying this
Mhm.
brand?" And she's like, "Oh, no, 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 we just haven't gotten any in stock for a while, but we're gonna keep carrying
Okay.
it." I was like,
Right.
"Whoo, good."
Well, that's why
That
I
brand's
say,
doing good for me.
yeah, and sometimes they even answer, like, maybe one time when I asked about it, they showed me the date. I can't really remember the date,
I'm gonna have to look. I'm
but
gonna
it's
have to look.
definitely, it says right on the tag, like, it'll say 10/19. That's new this month.
Mhm.
Or it'll say 6/19.
Yeah,
It's
and
very obvious.
that'll give you a clue into some hidden clearance too, because there was one time that I had bought a particular item and I was like, "Well, let me just buy 6, to test it."
Right,
Because I'm still getting my feet wet and I'm
right,
still learning how to read Keepa and all that other good stuff. Um, so I was like, "Well, let me just, test it out." And it turns out that by the time I got it home, I looked at the receipt and it was marked down on clearance, and I was like, "Oh, son of a gun!" Because if I would have known, I would have bought everything. I was
right,
comfortable enough that if it was a lower price, I would have bought everything they had. But I
right,
thought in my head, being new to Tuesday morning, and I'm thinking, well, if this sells well, or if I go and research it more and really like it, I know I'm coming back next week or whatever, and I'll buy more. Well,
right.
of course, it was gone.
Now, the one really, really sad thing about Tuesday morning is they used to have, I don't know if you ever asked, can you check another store and see if they have any more? They
Ah,
had a really good inventory system like that,
uh-huh.
and they would even give you a printout sometime, and it would have, like, a
Oh,
list of stores with
that's good
how
to
many at
know.
each store, and then and I only found out this after, like, 2 years of talking with an employee. I asked her something, and she said, "Well, did you check the 800 number?" There was literally an 800 number where you could put the code in. So there's a certain code on that tag too, which is the item number. It
Mhm.
comes out on your receipt. That'll be the item number as well.
Okay.
And so you could call the 800 number, type in the product number and then the zip code, and it would tell you all the stores that, but it's
Oh,
gone. They've discontinued it.
no.
So about a month ago, I went in the store and I said, "Can you check and see if they have any of these at whatever store?" And she goes, "Oh, we can't do that anymore." And I'm thinking, "Oh, maybe their manager is not letting them do it." And then I tried calling the 800 number and it didn't work anymore.
Oh, I wonder where they took that away.
One of them told me that it was too hard to keep, like, I think they're franchised, and the
Mhm.
inventory system just isn't very good there, so, people would get mad, like, they'd say, "Oh, it says there's 6 over there," and then they'd get there and they didn't really have 6 or whatever. I'm actually gonna call the home offices and tell them I really want that back. I'm hoping if enough
Yeah.
people do, they might. I don't know. Most
Talking
of the
about things
employees.
going away, has your Walmart app been acting funny? Because
Mm,
mine, when I scan anything that's on clearance, it just says not available in your store.
well, I've run into that for a long time, but the newest thing is check in store for price.
Yeah,
Like,
and yesterday I was at a store and they're like, "Oh, sorry, we don't have any scanners. You have to go to the cashier."
yeah, yeah, that's kind of a pain. I'm not shopping a ton right now at Walmart, so that's not really an issue for me, but yeah,
Oh.
that's
I was so mad.
yeah,
What do you mean I can't use my app?
I know, I
There's
know.
gold in this phone when I use my app. What do you mean I can't use it?
That's right. Yeah, because sometimes you could find out something was on clearance and you didn't know it. Like, or it'd say $5 is clearance, but you'd scan it and it was really only 250 or something.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly, I know. There were pants that I thought were 5 and they rang up as 3 yesterday.
mhm.
But, oh well. Oh well, can't win them all.
So, like I said, that's the way I would start, and that's the way I did it, but that doesn't mean it's the right way
No,
or whatever,
that's a great suggestion, though.
but I think either learn a store really well or learn,
Mhm.
like, a small product line really well, like, I don't know, paper clips from every different store. I'm not saying paper clips, obviously, but you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're really knowledgeable about a certain, say, sports item, piece of sports gear or something, learn it really well at Dick's and Walmart and Academy Sports, and find out when their sales are, and find out if they have discounts, and you know
And the
get,
different brands and the
get
different
all the
colors that work
discount cards,
well, and
get every app and every discount card at every store. I used to hate those things because I feel like they track you enough. Like we have no
I know.
privacy on earth. But now, I want all those discounts and those deals.
Absolutely. One of my recommendations, which I'm sure you would agree with, would be get your reseller license so you can get that tax exempt
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
there's no need to be paying tax because it's my understanding sales tax is for personal property. If you're reselling something, then it's personal property, so don't be
right.
paying the tax on it.
So if you're buying,
Let your buyer pay the tax on it.
yeah. So if you're buying poly bags for your business, you pay sales tax on
Mm-hmm.
that, but not if you're buying something to resell. But
Right.
the only thing is, don't forget the other end of it. So when you start using your sales tax number, you also need to be filing your sales tax.
Yes.
So
Yes.
as most Department of Revenues, if that's what it's called in your state, will explain the whole thing to you. Some states are like Georgia's every single month, whether you sell anything or not, you have to file. And it's online. Other states, I think California is like once a year. So just find out all the rules about that. That's a whole barrel of monkeys I won't get into. I mean, that could go, the whole Amazon,
Oh yeah.
whatever. I have my opinion on that. But now it's, going more and more states. I think we're up to 18 where they're collecting sales tax for Amazon. So
Well, we're almost out of time, but I do have another question for you.
uh-oh, okay.
That's a good question. Which repricer are you currently using? Are you using Aurora?
I'm using Be Cool.
Be Cool, okay. And that's the one that I'm using, but I'm shopping them around. So what are some of the pros and cons that you see of, like what helped you make your decision to go with Be Cool versus Aurora or Channel Max?
Yeah, it's easy.
Uh-huh.
It's easy. And it's inexpensive. And I did not use a repricer till this year. So I went through
Oh,
all of
really?
Q4 last year without, I mean, I know.
And you still
Looking
crushed
back,
it without a repricer. Good for you.
but looking back, I probably could have. Yeah, I probably could have.
It pays for itself.
Oh, it wasn't. It had nothing to do with the money. I
But
don't know.
for
I had
those
done it
listening
for.
in, though, right? Wouldn't you agree? It pays for itself because,
Oh,
you're
absolutely,
the only one on the listing that's going to increase your price back up to your max, for example.
absolutely.
So, your price might go up, $5 and, 10 products per month. That's, covers your
Well, like
cost right there.
my best day of all Q4 last year was December 7th
Mhm.
because I left my prices high and just waited for everybody else to drop out.
That's going to be my strategy this year. I have
But
I have a lot of things that I'm like, looking at the Keep It graph. I know it's sold for that price before, and I'm keeping my price high. You
yeah,
can try to
I
price
mean,
take it all you want. Go ahead.
I had certain Christmas items that I was already selling a lot of in September last
Mhm.
year, which I'm holding because the price went way up towards the end of September. I am going to start actually sending them in, but I'm going to keep the price up higher. So, yeah, don't give in too early. But it's a whole tricky situation because on say a hot toy or something, you
Mhm.
might need to get rid of it early. Who knows? You never know if Amazon's coming in on it. So there's all kind of strategies, but I like
Worst case scenario, you recall it and you sell it next year.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to deal with it, but I'd like to sell high if I can.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All
Yeah,
right.
Matthew says that he didn't buy anything today. That is another thing for new sellers. don't be afraid to leave the store without anything,
Mhm.
because it's better to leave the store without anything than just taking some stuff that's you're like, "It's probably not great, but I have to bring something home." Don't be afraid to leave with nothing.
Good for
It's
you.
better
Yeah,
than bad buys.
that's smart. That's smart, Matthew. Awesome. Well, our time is up, my dear.
Thank you so much, and I so apologize for the whole camera
No
thing.
worries. We
It's
just saw
never
that little bloop, bloop, bloop.
it's never happened before. I don't know what's going on. I mean,
Maybe it's just my channel. You
usually
know,
rebooting
I
anything.
am known for, audio technical issues on my channel. The very first time I ever went live, I think it lasted for like a whole 20 minutes. Everything
Oh,
just crashed
no.
and burned. So
Oh, boy.
it's all good.
Alrighty, well, thanks for having me on.
Yes. Thanks for coming on and making the time for us.
Alright, I'm headed back outsourcing a little more. Got a couple more hours tonight.
Yeah, I know. That's one reason why I could talk with you for hours, but I'm gonna let you go because I know you have to get out there and make some more money.
Well, I will
Get
come
out there
back
and
on when
hustle.
I get my camera going, so just ask me again sometime.
All right. I will. I'll hold you up on that.
Alrighty, we'll talk to you
Thanks.
later.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for coming in.